of our first Christmas in our new house that we moved into. It was the first house we ever purchased, so it was a big deal for us because if you don't know, my partner and I, we're not necessarily the people that you would call the most put together all the time. Anybody who's been to our offices, anyone who's been to our house, you know that it's just not the most put together. So the fact that we got our stuff together enough to buy a house is kind of a big deal. And one of the things that I loved about this house was that it had a fireplace, like an electric deal, you know, because like we can't handle like the actual fire. That's like a lot, right? But the electric fireplace with a place to hang stockings. And when I saw that, I knew this was going to be a great house for us. So we figured out the tree stuff and we figured out the stocking stuff. We were just having it made, right? So it was Christmas morning in this new house, and our three youngest children were fairly young at this point still, because it was about 3 years ago. So we had a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old and a 2-year-old. That's kind of a lot for Christmas morning. I shared with you earlier the story of how we all open up presents one at a time. That's not really how we can do it anymore. And anybody who's ever opened up Christmas presents with tiny children around, you know that it's never going to go exactly the way you think it will. Because you think, like, I'm going to have them open this present, and it's educational, and it's awesome, and it's going to be perfect. It's going to help them develop this skill, right? It's very carefully chosen Christmas presents. And then also whatever was on sale, right? So they're going to open this present, and it's going to be great, right? And then they'll open the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one will be perfect. And that's not how it goes with toddlers. Oh, no. Toddlers don't know how to do that. No, they open up the present and they take it out and then they play with the box and it's amazing. And you say, do you want to open up another one? And they push you away because that box is the best toy they've ever played with in the world. And why dare you try to get them this other toy? Because this box is perfect. So we got through, you know, we have 5 or 6 presents for each kid because that's fine. They're like 2 and 3, like they don't know what's going on, right? So we have maybe a present, maybe 2 presents for each kid, and they are done. They are not opening up any more presents. And we're like, don't you want to open, like I remember as a kid, you're ripping paper off as fast as you can when it's your turn, right? Like you're trying to get through all these presents. They were not having it. They had their box, they were fine, right? So my 3-year-old at the time, the one present he did open was a box of bath toys. He was very excited to play with these bath toys. And my 2-year-olds were just running all over and they were trying to rip the paper off other people's presents that weren't even there, like ripping on grandma's paper or whatever else. So like, we're trying to control them. My 3-year-old wants to go take a bath with his new toys, and we say, you know what, that's fine. Because then Ben and I will both be one-on-one, we'll be in like man-to-man coverage instead of sewn the wrong way, you know, like where you just, like one of us can be holding one kid, the other one can hold the other kid, and the other kid's in the bathtub. It's fine. And he's 3, so he's not gonna drown. It's gonna be okay if he's in there just kind of doing his thing. So we put him in there with the bathtub toys, and he was having the time of his life. And I'm thinking to myself, is this Christmas morning? Like, is this my normal? What is this? This is like 8 o'clock in the morning bathtub time. Like, that's not what we usually do. Bathtub's like a calm down time at the end of the day. We just like chill out and then like, let's read a story, man. Like everything's fine. Now you can go to sleep and just be like, relax. No, he's gonna do this at 8 a.m. Like, what? This is gonna throw out his whole nap schedule. So I'm thinking ahead of what's going on, right? But I'm also like, got this 2-year-old that's ripping up these other presents. I'm thinking ahead how we're gonna leave soon to try and go to my parents' house in Wisconsin. All these things are going through my head when I hear a terrifying sound. I hear a blood-curdling scream come out of the bathroom. And I'm thinking, what kind of trouble can he be in? It's a bathtub. It's not even a bathtub where only the children go in this bathtub. There's literally nothing but toys and water in that tub. I have no idea what's going on. So of course I run in there. And I leave Ben with the other 2 toddlers, right? I'm running in there. He's freaking out, and I can't figure out at first why. And I see he's huddled up on one side of the bathtub, and on the other side I see something moving. There's not supposed to be anything moving in a bathtub. So I look a little closer, and I realize it's a bat. Somehow, there was a bat that got into the bathtub with my child, which I mean, I understand, it's a warm bathtub, you have good toys, like, I understand the prevent to get in the bathtub. James was terrified. He's freaked out, he doesn't know what's going on. He just thought he was gonna play with his toys, right? And there's this bathtub, like, blah. So I'm like, I do that mom triage thing where you're like, okay, so I need to get the child out of the bathtub because rabies on Christmas is bad. And then I need to get him out here. I need to explain to Ben what's going on. I need to keep the other children out of here. And then I need to slam the door closed. Now, you need to know, I am terrified of bats. They are the scariest thing. They are rats, which are already scary, that can fly. I don't think you get much more scary than rats that can fly. And they're just like, I'm cute, whatever. You're like, no, you're not. Don't hug me. I don't want to be friends with you, right? So I know that I have to close the door really quickly. So I pick screaming James up, and I'm like bolting the door open, and I get him out in the hallway, and I get a towel around him, and Ben's like, what is going on? And I'm like, there is a bat in the bathtub. No. He doesn't believe me. He has to go see for himself. And then he goes, there is a bat in the bathtub, Julie. Did you know that? That is news to me, Ben. Thank you so much for telling me. So then we figured out it's not getting out of the bathtub because it can't like claw its way up out of there, so it's just like chilling out, right? It's not swimming, it's just like hanging out. It's felt like a toy, so it's like clinging to it, like Tom Hanks in that movie with like the plane that crashes and like the bull or whatever, like Castaway, something like that. Huh? Like Winston, that's right, yeah. Wilson, yeah, like Wilson, right? So he's just like clinging to this ball, like, come be my friend. And I'm like, no, dude, like, it's just Christmas for me, it's not Christmas for you, you're in the wrong holiday. So I'm standing outside the door and I'm like, what do I gotta do here? Because I can't leave the bat in there. Sometime I'm gonna have to go in there again to go to the bathroom. And I don't wanna bathe or like have a bathroom experience with a bat in the bathtub. That's not gonna be good, right? So I'm thinking what I gotta do is I gotta channel my inner like Jennifer Aniston and Friends, that episode where the pigeon flies onto the table. I gotta like put the pan over it and then slow out the book on, like, right? So I gotta get this to go. So I make sure Ben has the kids. I make sure I'm gonna like practice this motion of like getting in and like closing the door just in case somehow like this is super bad. They can get out of the water and like attack my face, right? I get in there and I have my tub and I scoop it up and put the thing on it, right? And this bat's looking at me like, what the heck are you doing? I'm a bat, I'm a waterlogged bat on Christmas morning. It's gonna be fine. Like, I'm not gonna get you. I'm in a little thing. We're good, right? So I got in there, and I'm so proud of myself. And then I realized, I don't know where I'm gonna put this bat, because it's winter in Minnesota. And I mean, I don't like bats, but I'm not cruel. I don't wanna like have it freeze to death. That would make me feel like a horrible human. Even though I want it, like there's a small part that wants it to die in a fiery grave because it's like a flying rat. I also don't want it to freeze to death because it's mean, right? Like, Ben, what do I do with this bat? He's like, put it outside? Seems to be the logical thing. You don't want to live with it, so we got to do something with it, right? It can't go in the house, it has to go outside the house. Okay. So again, I'm practicing because now I have a hand on top and a hand underneath just in case it gets really super strong and gets out of the Tupperware that I had it in, right? Because I mean, like, bats are tricky, you know? So I'm gonna do my maneuver again really quick and get out the door. I'm like, Ben, you got the front door? See, I got the front door. So you got the kids? He's like, I got the kids. So I open the door and I run out the front door and I throw it on the ground and I scream and I run back in the house because it's terrifying, right? It's a bat. And I look out there and I peek, thinking maybe it's gonna fly at me, you know, like the birds, like, you know, Alfred Hitchcock is gonna like come at the window and like crack it or something and like vengeance. Because I've ruined its Christmas too, you know. And it's just like hanging out on all fours right on my sidewalk in front of my house. And it's not moving. I'm like, Ben, I froze a bat to death on Christmas morning. And I'm thinking I'm like the worst person ever. It's gonna curse all future Christmas mornings for me. It's gonna be horrible, right? And so I'm like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We can't just let the bat die out there. We're like, I'm trying to like think of something. And so he looks out the window. He's like, what bat are you talking about? I'm like, the one that's on the sidewalk. And he looks out and he points. He's like, what bat? And I look out and it's gone. And it's flown away. And I have to believe that something in that bat told it to just keep flying and flying until it was dry and then it doesn't freeze because I don't want to think about having frozen a bat to death on Christmas morning after I took a bath with my son, because that would make me feel horrible. But we continued on with the rest of our morning just like that bat, and we flapped our wings and we got through the day and we got to where we needed to go and we didn't freeze in the car and everything was fine. And you know what? Even though he was a little bit traumatized by having taken a bath with a bat on Christmas morning, he still, to this day, enjoys playing with those bat toys.